Okay, so those for those users who are trying to connect an SD90 with a Roland V-Accordion, I wanted to maybe help you with the initial configuration so that you can set the MIDI channels and the general configuration between the two up correctly so that you won't have any issues communicating with the SD. In my case, 90, and I'm going to be using an 8X, but it's the same for all of them. So what you're going to want to do is when you bring up the editor, you're going to want to go into System and go into MIDI. And you'll see at the very top you have real-time RX and TX. And so I'm just going to walk through these parameters so that you know what they should be. So for the accordion, it should be set to channel 1. For orchestra 1 and organ, set it to channel 1. For orchestra 2, it should be set for channel 1. For bass and free bass, should be set to channel 2. For chord, should be set to channel 3. For orchestra bass, it should be set to channel 2. For orchestra chord, it should be set to channel 3. For orchestra free bass, I have mine off, but if you use it, you can set it to channel 2. And then the other ones, drums should be turned off. And the basic channel and the control channel also can be turned off if you like. So again, there's multiple ways to do this, and your way may be different, and if you understand it, that's perfectly fine. But if we're trying to debug a problem together, then we should be talking and make sure that this part of it works. So if you set your V-Accordion to match those parameters, you'll likely match 80% of the people out there, and more importantly, you'll match myself. And so that way we can continue to have discussions effectively, and we know the MIDI channels will be properly configured. And now we'll go ahead and talk about what you need to do relative to the SD. So if you go into the menu of the SD, what you're going to do first is we're going to select the play mode. And a play mode defines some basic configuration and operational capabilities based on the instrument you're using. And in this case, we want to make sure that we have selected accordion styles. Okay, so when and you can also get in to see what that is by just pressing and holding for a second, and you'll see that those are the parameters, but there's no MIDI information that you need to worry about in this particular case. Okay, and once you do that, you can exit and press save and choose custom startup, and it will make sure that entry is saved then for each time you reboot. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into MIDI, and we're going to make sure that the center icon, accordion style and voice, is selected. With that selected, we're going to go into Arrange Your Keyboard. And in Arrange Your Keyboard, we're going to select RX, and this is where you're going to make your channel selections. So you'll see that my right is channel 1, my left is channel 3, my bass is channel 2. And then you should turn all the other channels off. You can leave the last two, 16 and 15, or you can turn them off. It won't matter. That's for some advanced features. So, and then when you make those changes, go ahead and press save, and then it'll ask you, do you want to save this MIDI preset, accordion style and voice? Say yes. I'm not going to because I've done it. And then that way, the next time the SD series boots, all of these parameters will be already established for you, and they should work. So you should be able to talk effectively between a V-Accordion and an SD series arranger. Hope that helps.